From fake riches to real ruin, their luxury lives came crashing down.
Spending too much on stupid stuff, but it's like Raquel and my mom are getting surgery, like hello.
A family tragedy and a daughter's unimaginable pain.
Showed up with their mom and dad. Why in the hell are they drunk?
We're ready to drink.
We've seen many housewives come and go, but few spiraled like Lynne Curtin. Born on October 26, 1956, in Santa Clara County, California, Lynne was the daughter of an Army admiral and grew up in sunny Southern California. For years, her life looked flawless, married to Frank Curtin since 1989, with 2 daughters, Raquel and Alexa, and the dream Orange County lifestyle that seemed to define success. But in reality, that perfect image was just a glossy facade hiding financial chaos. When Lynne joined the Real Housewives of Orange County in Season 4, 2009, at 51, her obsession with staying young was impossible to ignore, and calling it unhealthy would be an understatement.
Ooh, how do you like being a grandmother?
We don't say that word.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Lynne wasn't just resisting aging, she was battling it like a full-blown war. Every wrinkle felt like an attack, every fine line an enemy to defeat. Her weapons, Botox, spray tans, facelifts, and complete denial. While her daughters were struggling, drinking underage and crying out for guidance, Lynne was fixated on her reflection, worried her neck looked too wrinkly for a 51-year-old living in Coto de Caza. The other housewives noticed, and in typical Real Housewives fashion, they didn't hold back. One of the cruelest moments came when castmates joked that Lynne didn't need curtains for her home. She needed them for her face. The joke hit hard, suggesting she'd gone so far with Botox that she could barely see reality anymore. Sadly, they weren't entirely wrong. And then came the moment that defined her downfall, the now infamous eviction scene.
That has been served. Thank you very much.
For real? Am I dreaming? Because I'm so hungry.
Lynne's downfall hit reality TV history when her daughter Raquel answered the door one day, only to find a stranger handing over eviction papers. It wasn't a delivery or a friendly neighbor. It was their landlord, serving notice because Lynne and Frank hadn't paid rent. In that moment, the jokes about curtains stopped being funny. Lynne had spent so much time chasing youth and glamour that she failed to see the financial collapse closing in. While Frank hid their money troubles, Lynne was too distracted by her reflection to notice the warning signs. And here's the twist. It wasn't their first eviction. Court records revealed Lynne and Frank had already been evicted back in 2003. By 2009, during their time on the show, they received 3 eviction notices in less than a year. Just days after one eviction, they moved into another rented home in Aliso Viejo, this time at $2,595 a month, still living beyond their means and pretending everything was fine.
As hell that I did not receive the eviction notice. I wish that I would have received it, not my 2 daughters.
By October 2nd, just weeks later, Lynne and Frank had already missed rent again and got a 3-day notice to pay or leave. It was their 4th eviction in just a few years, but nothing showed Lynne's obsession with youth more than the infamous hottie whistle moment. In Season 4's Vegas Baby episode, the housewives hit Las Vegas for a girls' trip, partying in a VIP cabana while Lynne desperately clung to the illusion of being the youngest, hottest one there.
Oh, hottie whistle. I want a hottie whistle.
The sun was blazing, the drinks were flowing, and Gretchen Rossi suddenly pulled out a hottie whistle. She passed it around, playfully crowning whoever she thought was the hottest housewife. It was all lighthearted fun, typical Vegas antics, until Gina turned to Lynne and made what seemed like a harmless comment.
So, you and I are past the hottie whistle age.
You and I are past the hottie whistle age, Jana joked. Any confident person would have laughed it off, but not Lynne. She snapped. In her confessional, the anger and insecurity were written all over her face. She was furious, hurt, and desperate to prove Gina wrong.
Speak for yourself, Gina. I'm not too old for the hottie whistle.
A 51-year-old woman having a full-blown meltdown on national TV because someone implied she was too old for a novelty whistle? That was Lynne Curtin. By Season 5, she'd taken her obsession with youth even further. Cameras rolled as she got a face and neck lift, while gifting her 19-year-old daughter Raquel a nose job for her birthday. Her husband drowning in debt, her daughter spiraling into underage drinking, and Lynne's solution was more plastic surgery. The priorities were completely upside down. Her daughters, Raquel and Alexa, were crying out for structure. At one point, one of them even pleaded, "Mom, I need you to give me rules." Any normal parent would have listened, set boundaries, and gotten help, but Lynne just zoned out, checking her phone, sipping a cocktail, and brushing it off with a giggle. Her household descended into chaos. The girls partied, drank, and stayed out all night with no curfews or consequences. Things got so out of hand that Bravo had to add on-screen disclaimers during her episodes to warn viewers about the underage drinking. Even Gretchen Rossi, one of the few housewives who genuinely tried to support Lynne, couldn't ignore how toxic it had all become.
There's still tension from that. I'm really sorry because that was truly out of being concerned about your daughter.
That was the demise of our friendship.
Lynne watched her daughters party and act recklessly, and did nothing. Not only that, she was proud of it, believing that giving them total freedom wasn't neglect, but love, a way to be the cool mom.
Just because you pop a child out between your legs, it doesn't give you the God right to know how to parent.
You know what? You.
Lynne painted Gretchen as the villain, even though Gretchen was acting more responsibly than Lynne ever did. When her daughter voiced feeling unheard, Lynne snapped, yelling that she was spoiled and had everything.
I don't want to talk about it right now, Mom. And for all these people.
Material possessions don't meet emotional needs. Having a nice house or designer clothes doesn't mean your child feels safe, heard, or cared for. Lynne's daughters suffered the consequences. Alexa married in 2013 but divorced 2 years later. Both daughters reportedly turned to pornography, Raquel as Sutton and Alexa as Jaden Taylor, to make money, with Lynne claiming she had no idea and was horrified. Alexa also faced multiple legal troubles: DUIs, drug possession, vandalism, and theft, serving jail time and probation. In 2017, she won $2.25 million in a federal lawsuit after being sexually assaulted by an Orange County deputy during a traffic stop. Despite all this, arrests, addiction, trauma, Lynne refuses to take responsibility. She frames her daughter's struggles as random misfortune, claiming, "Everyone's journey is different." Viewers widely agree her parenting was among the worst ever seen on reality TV. Meanwhile, Lynne's priorities were absurdly misplaced. Facing over $12,000 in back rent, a $1.2 million debt, an unemployed husband, imminent eviction, and daughters in crisis, she chose plastic surgery and a nose job for her daughter over addressing finances or therapy. By season 5, her twisted priorities and denial made it clear she lived in a reality of her own making.
This money's really tight.
Well, duh, I know that, but I mean, the rent was paid every month. Right now, we were paid up. What is the story? What's going on?
Frank Curtin, Lynne's husband, used to be a contractor, but the housing crash and economy left him without work for years. The couple was drowning in debt, facing a $1.2 million judgment, multiple evictions, and unpaid rent, all captured on camera. Any rational person would be slashing expenses and scrambling, but not Lynne.
Dad's always complaining about our finances and how we're spending too much on stupid stuff, but it's like Raquel and my mom are getting surgery. Hello, they're getting surgery that they don't need right now.
Instead of addressing their financial collapse, Lynne indulged in a face and neck lift, liposuction, and even gave her teenage daughter a nose job, all filmed for the show as if it were bonding. It wasn't cute, it was a disturbing passing down of insecurities. After one eviction, she even claimed the landlord raised her deposit out of jealousy over her surgery, a level of denial that's hard to fathom. Frank, meanwhile, wasn't innocent. He had massive debts, scammed an elderly investor out of $1.2 million, and refused to work after the housing crash. At least he understood the severity of their financial mess. Lynne, however, stayed in denial, later claiming she remained with Frank out of guilt for his help with her jewelry business, which, ironically, was funded by the stolen money. And all the while, during season 5, Lynne's priorities and delusions were summed up in her infamous tagline:
It's not about how much money you have. It's about how good you look spending it.
While her life crumbled, Lynne launched a brilliant business: leather cuffs. Her line, Cuff Love, later the Lynne Curtin collection, was meant to make her independent after her 2012 divorce. But the cuffs flopped. Critics called them basic, tacky, and overpriced. Lynne ignored the feedback, selling them at pop-ups and trunk shows as if they were luxury items. Yet nothing hurt her more than her obsession with weight, which overshadowed everything else in her life.
I don't know what it is with Lynne. I don't care if we're drinking. She makes us do squats.
During her time on Archok, Lynne was consumed by her weight and appearance. She constantly stepped on scales, pushed salads, and ranted about fat days, all while her teenage daughters watched and absorbed every toxic message. Her obsession with calories and self-image created an environment where her daughters mirrored her behavior, binge eating, acting out, and internalizing the constant dissatisfaction and self-loathing they saw modeled at home. The message was clear: nobody is ever good enough. The consequences were long-lasting. Even in 2025, as a grandmother, Lynne continues to post filtered selfies and obsess over her appearance, showing how deep her vanity runs. This relentless focus on looks became her legacy, shaping her daughters' childhoods into a textbook example of toxic self-image. Meanwhile, her business ventures and cosmetic procedures were equally hollow. The overpriced jewelry line didn't make her independent, the plastic surgery didn't fix her life, and obsessing over the scale didn't solve anything. All of these were just sparkling distractions, masking a much deeper problem. Lynne's foundation was rotten from the start. Her vanity, denial, and misplaced priorities not only failed to save her, but left lasting damage on her family and herself.